y'all, I'm Alex. This video is going to be a little bit different than my other ones because right now I'm currently recovering from a small injury. A couple weeks ago I rolled my ankle pretty bad during training, so I'm kind of not really into kicking right now, having to really take it easy, kind of taking a step back from training, just kind of slowly easing back into things. And on Instagram, a lot of you asked me if I could make a video about it, so today I thought I would make a quick little video kind of sharing some tips on what I am doing to still try to kind of stay in shape, kind of stay in the swing of things while being injured. So let's get started. Alright, tip number one, which is probably the hardest thing that I have had trouble doing, which is eat clean, stay hydrated, and rest. Alright, so first up, eating clean. Definitely gotta make sure you eat super clean when you're not able to train as hard and burn as many calories as normal. So you gotta definitely make sure you maintain your diet even more than you were before, which for me personally has definitely been pretty hard, but we are making things work. Just doing the best you can, just kind of lower your kind of carb intake, not eating too many bad things, which sometimes can be pretty hard, especially if you're kind of like me and when you're not really training and in the routine, you kind of get a little bit discouraged mentally and it just makes you want to just eat bad things sometimes. So that's definitely been a little bit of a struggle for me, but you definitely got to stay on top of a clean diet when you aren't able to burn as many calories. Next up is staying hydrated. With this just goes for anything, whether you're training or you're not training. Definitely make sure that you stay really hydrated, especially as you're recovering from an injury. Very important to make sure you always stay hydrated. And then last, which is definitely the most important thing, make sure you're getting enough rest. You got to make sure that you're making sure that you can recover, your body's recovering. But especially for me, after I initially rolled my ankle a couple weeks ago, the first few days I didn't do anything. I had to make sure that I stayed off my feet as much as I possibly could, make sure I was icing it, and just really making sure I wasn't doing anything, really limiting my activity a lot, which for me was also really hard to do. So just making sure when you first initially injure something, make sure that you are giving a few days to completely rest it, not doing anything. That way you don't make it worse. If it's something that's swollen, definitely make sure you ice it, all that good stuff. And if it's really bad, definitely go to the doctor. But for me, I knew what I needed to do, just stay off of it, elevate it, ice it, give it a few days, and try to just limit activity. Second thing is take the time to do some stretching. Obviously, if you're injured, you're not going to be doing a lot of training or you're having to limit a lot of your training. So use some of that extra time to add in some stretching sessions, which for me personally has been another struggle because I don't really like stretching that much. I get kind of bored. So I've definitely tried to make a little bit more of an effort since I'm not able to do some of my like hour-long kick sessions like on the bags. I've replaced that with like 10-15 minutes of stretching. It's not a super long time, but it's better than nothing, and I'm at least trying to kind of get in that routine of just adding in some stretching. And then even when I get back to my regular training routine, it'll probably help me kind of stay on top of stretching a little bit more. So add in some stretching sessions because like I said, you're probably having to take out some of your normal training or at least limit it a lot. So in place with that, add some stretching and it'll definitely benefit you as well. And last, once you kind of get over that first initial recovery stage, you can train a different part of your body. So for example, for me, after a few days of kind of resting my rolled ankle and it was a little bit better, wasn't as swollen, I started doing just a little bit of ab exercises and then a few push-ups. Not a ton at first, but like for example, if something like your ankle is bothering you or like even just any part of your leg, you can train something else. Do abs, do push-ups. I've started doing a little bit of like some boxing, some punches, just train something else. That way you're still able to move your body, burn a little bit of calories, and hopefully get a little bit of a sweat up. And then, of course, as my ankle slowly starts to get better, I'm going to slowly add in more and more things until I'm able to be 100%. But as always, make sure that you are super careful, especially if you're coming off of an injury. You don't want to just go in too hard, too fast, and then you're just going to re-injure it, and more than likely, it'll be even worse the second time. So I've definitely tried to make sure that I'm being super careful, just really easing back into my training before I do anything, because I definitely don't want to re-injure it or make it worse and then just make my rest and recovery period even longer. So definitely make sure that you are super careful and just train a different part of your body. Like I said, if your legs hurt or if you rolled your ankle like I did, then use your upper body. Do some punching, do some ab work, do some push-ups, stuff like that. Obviously, that's not the most fun thing for me. I don't really like doing abs. Punching's okay, but I'd rather kick, and then I definitely hate push-ups. But it's better than doing nothing. I would rather at least be able to move my body, get a little bit of a sweat, a little bit of a workout is definitely better than nothing. All right, quick recap of everything I just went over. Number one, make sure that you are eating clean, even cleaner than before because you're not burning as many calories. Stay hydrated, and then also make sure that you are resting. That way you're letting your body recover, especially from an injury. Number two, add in some stretching sessions. If you're anything like me and you get bored stretching, you don't really like stretching or taking that extra time to do that stretching, just add in like 10 to 15 minutes. That's what I am doing. And then hopefully it'll become a little bit more of a consistent thing even after you get back into training, and it will definitely benefit you a lot. So just add in 10 to 15 minutes, make that effort like I'm doing, and just add that in. Even if it's a little boring, it will definitely go a long way if you stick with it. And then lastly, number three was train a different part of your body. Once you kind of get over that initial recovery phase and you start easing back into some training, train a different part of your body. So like for me, I rolled my ankle. So in place of doing like kicking and sparring, like what I really want to do, I'm doing like some punching, I'm doing some push-ups, some ab work, stuff like that, just so I'm not running the risk of re-injuring my ankle when it's not 100% yet. So even though that's not really what I want to do, I really just want to just kick and do some sparring, it's better than doing nothing. So just keep that in mind. Even if you're doing some exercises that you don't really want to do, you really just want to get out there and kick like me, just do those extra exercises because in the end, doing something, getting a little bit of a sweat, a little bit of a workout, burning some calories is definitely better than just sitting there and doing absolutely nothing. I do hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and if you guys want to join one of my Zoom classes or train with me one-on-one, make sure to visit alexwongtkd.com for more details. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.